I'm Nija, and this is how I pen it forward.
You gon' love me when the highs get low. And show me you gon' hold me, you gon' hold me down.
I actually wasn't a writer first. I was a producer, and I started producing at 13. And in order to get my beats heard, I started singing and writing to my beats. So that was probably around 16. But I really didn't start taking writing seriously until 18. So I was in college, and it was like the tail end of freshman year, beginning of sophomore year. My personal favorite genre to write for is R&B, just because it's so close to home, it's natural to me, and it's what I listen to on a daily basis. So what made me want to take writing more seriously was a few things. One, time management. I was in school for most of the day, and then nighttime was the only time that I could work on, other stuff. And I was like, do I want to spend all night making one beat, or do I make like 5 songs? Because I was able to make songs quickly. A bunch of producers were sending me stuff. I'm like, I got hundreds of beats right now, so I might as well just be productive and just write more to these. And then eventually I ended up getting my first placement within like the first 6 months. And I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of working, so let me keep doing it.
Don't play with that girl, she's not one of them. Don't play with that girl, she's not one of them. Don't play with that girl, she is not one of them.
My first placement was Lecrae Lucked Up. I actually was featured on that too. So what actually inspired me to move to the artistry was Beyonce. Like, I remember I played her the Heard About Us demo when we were in Paris, and she was like, you have the most beautiful tone in the world. And I was like, no girl, you do. But that was like the first like ding ding ding, wait a minute, hold on, she said that. And then she actually featured me on My Power the year after. So that feature was just like, you need to be an artist. So that's when I really started taking it more seriously. So my favorite placement to date, No Guidance, Chris Brown featuring Drake, because it's a cultural record, and I'm a big fan of both. Like Chris Brown, like I remember seeing him in auditoriums when I was like in the 3rd grade. Drake, like I grew up on Drake, So Far Gone and all his mixtapes and everything. It was just a record for the culture, and just seeing it go off in clubs, and it broke records. It was like the longest playing rhythmic song on the radio for a while till it go crazy, and it was just a moment for me. So that's one of my favorites. I would definitely want to work with Prince, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, Michael Jackson. I love the both of them. So, and of right now, 2 people that I would work with. Okay, I really like Mariah the Scientist's music. I thought her last project was really dope. And Kehlani, I work with her all the time, but like I'm a fan. I was a fan first, so I would do that for sure. We've built such a strong relationship through working, and that eventually became a friendship, and it makes the work even easier. We know each other, we know what each other likes, and no hard feelings if we don't like something. It's like, all right, cool, let's just kick it and take our mind off the thing. Let's go party, and then we'll try again tomorrow. As compared to working with somebody for the first time, it's like you kind of got to feel them out and see what they like, and you kind of got to be catering to make sure it's still comfortable for everybody in the room. Being young and in the industry in LA, even just like as a regular person, I feel like guys definitely will be a little iffy. So it's just like, I need somebody who's going to stick it through the end and, just be there. In my last relationship, I just felt like my ex was kind of gaslighting me and making me feel like I was in the wrong. And also, me being in the industry and like having success early on, I felt like he was really insecure in our relationships. And I'm like, you trying to turn this around on me is basically showing me your insecurities. And, I just didn't rock with it, so. True story. My ex, he had gotten in a new situation, and I just remember seeing pictures of him and his new girl, and I was just like, yeah, I don't really think this is the real thing, because you literally just hit me up not too long ago. You're trying to act like you're all happy, and I know you better than anyone else. You don't look happy. You're putting on a front. You deserve an Emmy, because like you're putting on a show for everybody. So let's clap it up. I co-wrote the first verse. Her and Tehran, they had already had the idea, and Chloe wanted me to come in and help her fix things up and like get it to another place. I loved working with Chloe because one, I had already been working with Chloe since she was in the sister duo with her and Hallie, and they're close in age with me, so they're like sisters. So it was really dope to see her come out on her own and be a part of her first song and it be a hit. It really meant a lot to me, especially just because like I really rock with her as a person. So for No Guidance, I helped write Chris's parts. So the second verse and the third verse. I love those parts when it comes on in the club because those are the parts that everybody always sings. So writing for men rather than women is definitely different. I feel like when I'm writing for women, I can just, you know, put it all on the table. It's just like I'm talking to, you know, my sisters, like what we go through on a daily basis. But when I'm writing for men, I kind of have to switch my mentality and be like, what do I want to hear as a woman? That was my mentality going in to No Guidance. Like I remember talking to Chris and I was like, I want to say all the things that I want to hear you say. It's like acting. I definitely got to like switch my brain around when working with men.
I'ma make you feel important, make you feel like
if he's a mama's boy, it's a red flag. You grown, come on. Someone who's busy or works a lot is a green flag for me. That lets me know that you're driven and you know, you got your own. Someone who talks on the phone and doesn't really prefer texting is, I would say, a green flag. Texting is much easier. It's still a form of communication, so it's a green flag for me. Someone who's always on social media is a red flag for me. It's giving clout chaser. Someone who's emotional is a green flag for me. I personally am not that emotional, so I need someone to kind of be the opposite. Just don't be so emotional where you're needy. Then I'm like, that's when I start to retreat. Someone who doesn't listen to Beyonce, red flag. Gotta go. Yeah, you have to like Beyonce. She doesn't do anything not to like. Someone who's had a lot of ex-girlfriends is a red flag for me. We're young, so that just lets me know all your relationships are short-lived, and maybe the problem is you. Someone who's still friends with their ex's family is a red flag. Why are you still talking to their family? Once you cut them off, you're supposed to cut everybody else off. A man that makes less than me is a red flag. I want somebody on my level, and well, that's gonna sound bad, huh? Yeah, let me restart that one. A man that makes less than me is a red flag. We gotta be on the same mental level. That means you gotta be driven and really trying to chase your dreams. As long as you're doing that, then that's okay. Someone who gets manicures and pedicures is a green flag. Hygiene is so important, and no one wants to be with a man who has dirt under his fingernails. Like, that is just disgusting. A man that posts selfies is a red flag. You should be just sending that to me. Don't put that on the ground. Nobody else needs to see that. A man who also works in the industry is an extreme red flag. I've been around a lot of rappers and producers. They are the worst, so it's an extreme red flag. A man who cooks is a green flag, a very, very big green flag. I like being fed, so that's good for me. Anyone who hasn't listened to Don't Say I Didn't Warn You is a red flag. It's about 50 red flags. Where you been? What you been doing? Obviously not the right thing. I'm Nija, and this has been Pen It Forward.
talking